Thank you. This was originally a half-hour chat. It's now 15 minutes, so I'm going to go full dopamine and, like on a podcast, crank us up to 2. So buckle up, everyone. I'm going to help you define the difference between effectiveness, which is incremental brand growth, and efficiency today, which is optimizing the shit out of something, which you'll hear a lot about on the stage for the rest of today. Effectiveness in the age of efficiency. So, where do I point this thing? Over here? Oh, I'm losing precious seconds. Any idea, guys? Okay. So I was in New York the other day because I really am a LinkedIn wanker. And I was at an awards ceremony for some creative awards. And I was sat next to the marketing director for a very large animal charity. And we had a few glasses of wine, so the real questions started coming out. And it turns out he uses a lot of broad reach TV. And I'm a big fan of radio, especially after a few glasses of El Rosé. So I started pitching him on the effectiveness of radio. You know, how it's incredibly broad reach. It costs around a fifth of the price of TV. Mark Ritson has shown with FE data, if you spend 11% of your media budget on radio, you double your large brand effects, etc., etc. And this guy said, sounds good, but how can I measure each donation? So it turns out he's using connected TV and national TV with QR codes to optimize the ROI on each campaign. This is efficiency, not effectiveness. This is trying to do more of something for less, quicker, not trying to do the job at hand. And it always reminds me of the hare and the tortoise story. How the hare was super quick, but never made it to the end, which was the objective. He was annoyingly efficient. And the tortoise, which was really slow, but made it to the end. He completed the job at hand. He was boringly effective. And this is a thing. As marketers, we need to focus on reaching the end of the race, the objective, effectiveness. Effectiveness needs to come before efficiency. We need to work out how we're going to do the job before optimizing the shit out of it with metrics. Or, as David Abbott would say, shit that arrives at the speed of light is still shit. So we need to take a step back away from these efficiency metrics and think about the work that works. And it's not our fault. As marketers, we've got a load of tools to measure and optimize all these outputs of marketing that you're going to see again a lot on this stage. I've adapted this model from IAB's 2021 toolkit, which looks at different jobs to be done across the marketing funnel, across different time frames. We have attribution, which you can only whisper now in the halls of big FMCGs. We have brand studies. We have controlled experiments. And we have econometrics, which no one really knows what the fuck's going on. These are all great for triangulating marketing decisions and making tactical choices, but they're outputs. And we've become output metric obsessed. So output metric obsessed that if we can't measure something, we might not even do it in the first place. We need to take a step back and think about the shit before we throw it at people at the speed of light. We need to give effectiveness a chance. We need to take a step back and think about the work. And you might think that marketers are paid really well. They should know about the inputs, right? They should know how to create work that works, effective advertising. Not according to Byron Sharp and the Gang, which is my favorite Australian rock band, by the way. In 2016, they showed that marketers are about as good at flipping a coin when it comes to finding and choosing effective work. So we really need to take a step back and think about how advertising works in the first place, the input, which is what Les Burnett has been doing for the past 30 years of his career. Good old Les. Advertising increases sales or margins by slightly increasing the chance you'll choose a brand by making it easy to think of or by creating positive, relevant associations via our input numero 1, broadly enjoyable advertising. Advertising that reaches our entire future buying market with enjoyable work that builds positive associations. So when your brand comes to mind for years to come, it feels like the right choice, creating future demand. And input numero 2, commercially interesting and useful activations. advertising that's heavily branded and speaks to those already in the buying mode, delivering messages that are useful and interesting to inspire some kind of emotional engagement to change short-term behavior. These are our inputs of effectiveness. And we need to take a step back and think about these inputs. Give the shit some thought before the speed of light. And that, luckily, is what System 1's been doing for the past 20 years. We measure the second-by-second emotional response to advertising and brand response to understand if it's going to do the job we need it to do, to give the work some thought, to give effectiveness some chance. We turn this data into our 3 predictive metrics. We have star rating, which predicts long-term effects. Is that advertising broadly enjoyable by your future buyers market? And that measures largely the positive emotional response to advertising. Will it create future demand? Our second metric is spike rating. It predicts the short-term effects of advertising. Will it capture that in-market demand? Is that advertising well branded? And does it stir some kind of emotional engagement? And thirdly, our fluency rating. Does anyone even know it's you? Percentage correct brand attribution. And with this, we help advertisers understand whether the work's going to do the job we need it to do in the first place before optimizing the hell out of it. And with this, we take a step back and we've got a new holistic effectiveness model. It gives advertisers a chance to think about the work before optimizing it. Effectiveness before efficiency, the inputs before the outputs. Now, this brings it on, because it's awards season, it allows us to look at the damage that this over-reliance on output metrics and efficiency has had on our industry. And this isn't a new idea. Peter Field, not Les Burnett, I always get those two mixed up, the young rascals. Peter Field and the IPA spotted this 5 years ago. They noticed that campaigns in the IPA data bank were getting more short-term focus and brand building budgets were decreasing. They noticed that creative awards were starting to become more short-term focused as well, with this rise in short-term work winning creative awards. This is dangerous because creativity pays off more in the long term. So they saw this erosion of ESOV efficiency, whether every pound spent on creatively awarded work was going to grow market share more. This is the damage that this over-reliance on efficiency was having. And you'll notice here that this trend is dangerously heading to zero in 2018. And we really want to know if this trend's carried on right. And System 1 just so happens to test every UK TV ad and most US TV ads. So we have the data, and I'm afraid to say, guys, it's not good news. So, on my big reveal, there we go. So if we look at the long-term effectiveness of all advertising, it's actually not great. We see actually around 50% of work doesn't really create much future demand at all. And if we take a step back to 2018, we can see creatively awarded work was actually more effective for a time at building those important, positive, branded memory structures. But in the past 3 years, creatively awarded work has become average. This age of efficiency has eroded long-term brand building with advertising. And a creatively awarded ad is about as good at building future demand as any ad at all. Now, in the year that WARC, I told you this was 2 times speed. I need to sit down after this one. In the year that WARC has said that meta spend has finally overtaken the spend on linear TV, I want to tell you something that isn't the answer to this erosion of effectiveness, and that's digital engagement metrics. And to answer why digital engagement metrics are not our saving grace, we have to answer my personal favorite question. What the fuck do Rossa Reeves and digital engagement metrics have in common? So let's take a step back to the original digital engagement metric, and that's click-through. Meta have been screaming for 10 years that digital click-through does not lead to brand outcomes. Digital media needs to be used to reach and engage and make enjoyable content with broad audiences, and click-through has got nothing to do with that. And a few weeks ago, Meta released some data which showed that click-through wasn't just shit, it's ageist. So the older you get, the more likely you are to buy something after clicking on a digital ad. And the younger you get, the more likely you are to buy something after viewing an ad. That's right, view-through is up to 6 times better at predicting purchase than click-through. Now, does that mean that view-through is a great metric for effectiveness? Hell no. and I'll have to get my friend Rossa Reeves to explain why. This is the infamous Apple iPad ad tested with Apple owners and non-Apple owners. Apple owners love this ad, lots of engagement, lots of positive emotions. It's actually one of the most effective ads for long-term brand building in our database when it's tested with Apple owners. Non-Apple owners find this ad incredibly tedious, and when they do engage, they find it very offensive. It's actually one of the least effective ads in our database when tested with Apple owners. Non-Apple owners, if they threw this campaign into a digital platform and didn't cancel the whole thing, this algorithm, the engagement-hungry algorithm, would find Apple owners that watch it more, click on it more, buy more iPad products, share this ad with their friends. And then when you'd look at the ad, they'd be buying more iPads. Would that be because they viewed it through? Hell no. It's because they're Apple owners. And that's the mistake Rossa Reeves made all those years ago. The Rossa Reeves fallacy. He thought that if you asked people if they could recall an ad and then checked if the ad recall group had brand buyers or non-brand buyers in it, you could tell if the ad worked. No, if you buy a brand, you recognize, you remember, and you engage with their advertising more. And that's why engagement metrics, digital engagement metrics, are flawed when it comes to effectiveness. That is not how you can tell whether your brand is getting incremental gains. It's just finding the easiest people to buy your brand. So that leaves us with, checks time, 4 minutes, woo! That leaves us with the 2 effectiveness questions to ask in this age of digital efficiency. How do we achieve broad reach on digital, and how do we attract broad attention on broad reach media? Well, I've already given you guys the answer. It's a holistic effectiveness model. We need to think about the inputs before the outputs, the shit before the speed of light. We need to reach broad audiences with enjoyable work. We need to entertain for commercial gain. This isn't a new idea. Orlando Woods, System 1's Chief Innovation Officer, has been shouting about this for 10 years now. He's defined these entertaining creative features as broad beam creative features, the kind of features with character, incident, place, humor, melody. These features entertain for commercial gain. They grasp our broad attention. Directly opposite, we have these narrow beam features, flatness, monologue, unilateral communication, abstract product features. These features grasp at a sale. They don't entertain. And Orlando Woods actually shown that these narrow beam features literally work differently. They build less emotion and they build less attention. Drastically different, we have the broad beam features, these features that entertain for commercial gain, that are more associated with attention and are more associated with emotion. The answer is simple. We must entertain for commercial gain. Now, bringing us into the real world, the modern world, we went and put this into practice. And thinking about the inputs before the outputs, we tested a lot of work on Pinterest, and we saw that ads with a higher than average star rating, i.e. those ads which are broadly enjoyable, ads which entertain for commercial gain, end up getting the outputs right. Higher ad recall, more action intent lift, higher return on ad spend. If you get the inputs right, the outputs follow. And it's the same thing with attention as well. We saw in our testing of a lot of Pinterest campaigns that ads which were able to attract and sustain broad attention led to greater outputs as well, greater ROAS and sales lift. And if there's any B2B marketers in the crowd, I feel sorry for you, but you might be thinking, but Andrew, does all this apply to B2B advertising? Well, I will lie on my friend Matt Ritz and I'll say, you bet your fucking life it is. I leaned on my friends at LinkedIn here and got some data from them, and they can see that the inputs into advertising on LinkedIn for B2B brands, 30% of that which leads to brand outcomes is creative, the inputs. It's the same thing for B2B. Emotional work that's enjoyable gets 7 times more brand lift, brand effects in the IPA database for B2B ads. And we can also see that B2B advertising that attracts and sustains more broad attention gets more brand lift. And then if you might be all thinking, you know, what's the point? I've got all my agency models set up. I have my nice spreadsheets. I can track my click-through and look like I'm doing a good job at work. This all sounds like a lot of effort. Well, it's because creative effectiveness and thinking about work that works is literally magic. If you create more commercially interesting work, more enjoyable work, work that gets a higher star and spike rating, we can see in the WARC database that it literally gets more ROI per media dollar. Now I realize that I've screamed a lot of charts at you for the past 15 minutes, and it's kind of hard to remember. So I wanted to leave you with one salient quote that's more profound than anything you'll hear at MadFest for the rest of the week. And that's simple. If you lay golden shits, people don't mind stepping in them. But if you like all the charts and you want the citations and the full deck, you can scan this QR code and get it for free. Thank you, guys.